It's easy enough. Thursday live stream. Let's try it. Let's see how it works. Got it. I just want one of you. All right. I have excellent connection. We should be pulling up now. Private. Public. Let's change this around. Bloody, we should be live now. That is awesome. So finally, it is a Thursday. We're doing a live stream on a Thursday. The first one we've tried. So we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully it turns out well. Hopefully everything goes good on this Thursday live stream. But, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I definitely pulled my stupid card and did not bring anything to drink. That's on me. I should have grabbed myself something to drink, but I did not. Oh well. What's going on, David? Welcome to the first Thursday live stream. What's up, Queen? Good to see you this afternoon or morning, depending upon where you're at. So we're giving this a go, seeing how this turns out. I will be on until about 2:30 Eastern time, so not quite an hour and a half. Got to pick the kids up from the escuela. Killing time till you go to work. I heard that. I am struggling. Oh, 12:12. Okay, so it is afternoon for Queen. Whew, sorry, I had to set myself an alarm. That way I did not let time get away from me. And I missed picking the kids up from school. Somebody did not be happy about that, that's for sure. Killing time till you go to work. I have just got it home from work about 20 minutes ago. Had enough time to change clothes. That was about it. Good times. What's up, Liddy? Taking a break at work. That's awesome. Taking a break. I'm a big fan of the taking the breaks myself. I don't know how much my other employees like it, but I like taking a break from work myself. Gotta get your baby at 3:30. I gotta get my babies at 2:30. Well, 2:39 to be exact. 2:39 is our dismissal time. So good to see everybody. It is awesome to see everybody today. I did not know what sort of reception Thursday would be getting. I was a little bit worried about it, to be honest with you. I know I've done the Saturdays for a while, so I was worried about how the Thursdays would go. But shoot, if this first couple minutes is any indication, I think we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be doing pretty good. At least I hope so. Excuse me. I've been wondering, what do you do as mental health addictions nurse? Same thing every other nurse does. Med passes, assessments. Everyone, if you were to break it down vague enough, does the same thing. Where the addiction part of what I do differs from what other nurses do is I deal mainly specifically in addiction type medications, whereas like if you're an oncology nurse, you would deal specifically in cancer type medications. And we would both look for signs and symptoms of toxicities and signs and symptoms of medications not working, things like that. So really, it's the same sort of thing that any other nurse does. It's just medications are really different, and that's really about it. Things like that. Like I may know a patient has a massive infection, but I am not going to be the nurse treating the massive infection. I won't be treating a wound. That would be a wound care nurse. So try not to be vague, but there's really no differences. But it's a lot of fun. I didn't know that addiction medicine existed. I sort of do. I sort of did. You hear about it on TV and stuff because everybody watched that Dr. Drew's Celebrity Rehab or whatever. But I didn't know that there was actually like a field of it. A lot of people in the field. And then one day someone asked me to apply for a job, and then went ahead and applied for the job, and then man, I haven't turned back since. Has any patient relapsed that had been to my facility? Yes. Many patients relapsed that had been to my facility. They say that, what is the statistics? A person doesn't get clean until their third time in treatment. Something like that. So very few people actually get clean the first time. I've seen people get clean the first time, but not many people do. It's just one of those things that happens. A lot of people that come to get addiction treatment the first time, they're there because something scared them. Someone else wants them to do it. Something like that, and then they sort of don't take it as serious as they should. And then the second time they take it a little more serious, but then not quite as serious as they did the first time. And then the third time they're like, all right, I'm dead set on it this time. I'm cleaning up. And then they get clean, and typically it's about 3 times. I'll say it's probably about average, yeah. But every now and then, first time is the charm. And T has showed up. Again, trying to woo Queen. But yes, I see a lot of patients relapse. It's unfortunate as it is, but it happens. You have arrived. Welcome to the Thursday live stream. What has been my favorite part of being a nurse over the triads over the years? Okay, all right, over the triads, we'll go with that. What has been my favorite part of being a nurse over the years, and what has been the hardest part? My favorite part was probably, I don't know. I don't know one specific thing that's been my favorite part, but the hardest part was right there in March of 2020. I would actually say about May of 2020, when the COVID was hit, and the COVID hit really, really hard, and we had a hard time getting everything, any sort of supply known to man. We couldn't get it. And then staff was short. Like, nurses themselves were like walking off of units because they were scared of catching the COVID themselves. And so nurses figured out, hey, this isn't my calling anymore. We were working with like only 2 nurses on my unit for months, and normally we have about 5 to 6 nurses on my unit. So that from like May of 2020 till maybe October, November of 2020 was probably the hardest part. Just everything in general. The shortage of everything, staff and supplies and everything. That was very hard. So my favorite thing, I would have to say, I don't know. I mean, just sort of being there, I guess. just sort of knowing every day that I'm going to something that I don't hate. Because I could definitely work a job that I hated. So I just don't work a job that I hate. So it's probably my favorite thing. Um, and then had a young lady recently die from a drug overdose. Wow, that your aunt taught in school. Yeah, unfortunately, that's happening. We're seeing a lot more fentanyl in stuff, which is terrible. And a lot of these kids are getting a hold of stuff that they don't fully understand what it is. Maybe they buy it off a friend or whatever. They don't fully understand that stuff's getting pressed into Xanax, or stuff's getting pressed into other medications that they think is, whatever they wanted to take. Hey, I want to take a perk, and it ends up being a fentanyl, and they die. It's terribly unfortunate, but it definitely seems to be happening right now. Definitely seems to be going around a lot. It's unfortunate. And then in Canada, a lot of people left the profession as a result of COVID. Yeah, that is something that we had to experience down here. How did we handle it? So I will say, I myself didn't. I knew that I couldn't go anywhere. My wife Courtney, she is a line cook, and at the time they weren't working, and so we had nothing else to fall back on. So I had to stay in work, or we were going to lose our house. We're not, we were never in danger of losing our stuff, but I knew if I didn't work, we would lose our stuff. So that sort of helped me hang in there. But my company that I work for, excuse me, and it's the only company I've heard of that did this, was helping out with I'll call it stay-on bonuses. And so it wasn't like, oh, we'll give you $10,000 to stay on. It wasn't anything like that. But, once a week or something, or once a month or something, they'd pass you like $100 Amazon card or something like that. They would say, thank you so much for coming into work every day, and so they'd slide us a Amazon card, or they'd slide us, something like that. And so I think that really helped too. There was really nothing any employer could really do at that moment in time to sort of help everybody, but I think that sort of helped a little bit. And yeah, I just had nowhere else to go. I could have taken a job making more money, but I just decided not to. I liked where I was at. I get off work at 12:30 every day. So, well, let me take that back. I stop working at 12:30 every day. So, typically I can get my charting done and whatnot and be home soon thereafter. So that's not too bad. I do like that aspect of it, and that actually helped a lot with school, because the kids were not in class at all. Everything was remote, and so it would help a lot, take a lot off of my wife, me showing up and at least being there to help. So that was good too. But I don't want to go back to that. I'll tell you that much. I know that the numbers are going up, which I understand, but I don't want to go back to the way it was, where everything's shut down again. And apparently T is good looking, says the queen. Excuse me. I had hydrated myself up very well before this, but did not bring any fluids with me at this moment in time. So hopefully I don't have to duck out and go grab something to drink. Which I may do that anyways. I'm getting old. Becoming an old person is no fun. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and duck out and go grab me something to drink. What's up, Jerry? Give me guys, give me like 2 minutes. Like I'll be right back. Nobody go nowhere. I'll be right back. I don't have like a background screen to put on. All right. Ugh. All right, David. We'll see you later, bud. All right. You know how I'm not a professional? Because I didn't come prepared. We'll see you later, though, David. Gotta get that water in me. That life juice. Ugh. My belly seems full. They fed us at work today. It was amazing. Of course, it was barbecue, so everything seems to be barbecue. Barbecue or pizza? I don't know about y'all, but like if work feeds you, it's always pizza or barbecue for us. But pizza's always like the go-to. And I am now stuffed to the gills. Chicken would be a good one. Yeah, they do not feed us the chicken. Chicken would be a good one though. That's what's up. What am I doing with life here? I don't know. All right. In any case, there we go. Eating hot Cheetos and nachos. We don't really have the hot Cheetos. I mean, we sort of do, but sort of don't at the same time. Ooh. Oh, me. So, at this moment in time, we're missing out. The not Affordable Care Act. What is the new one called? Inflation Reduction Act. That one has not, to my knowledge, officially taken place at work. However, our documentation is sort of starting to change a little bit, which kind of makes me wonder if this mess is actually starting to take effect in some way. Could be, may not be. I don't know. Because I remember when the Affordable Care Act took place, I believe it was like 2010, and Obama was elected in 2008, I believe. So it was like 2010-ish when the Affordable Care Act took place. I remember watching all the LPNs get gone. So as the new Inflation Reduction Act sort of starts to come into play, I'm sort of waiting on changes to come medically, because a lot of that deals with the Medicare, Medicaid sort of end of things. I'm wondering if they're going to start like not paying for ADNs or LPNs to take care of people, which I could actually see happening. I know that's not really how it's written, but I could sort of see that happening, and then your home care agencies and whatnot start losing out on people. But I don't know with the nursing shortage. I don't know that that'll happen either. So, because we're definitely a lot shorter of nurses now than we were in 2010. Because in 2010 we still had some of the boomers. Because now they're at the youngest, a boomer's 60, 58, 60, somewhere around in there. So 12 years ago they were 45ish, so prime time work. But I could see changes coming nursing wise with the Inflation Reduction Act. But I hope not. I hope nothing changes on that end. But we'll see. We'll see how all that goes. I don't want changes to come. I just feel like they might. I want to see them. I want to see everything stay or get better. Get better would be the best. I think I'm having an issue. Let's see what issue I am having. Nope, everything looks good. Okay. Yes, that's sort of what I worry about. I worry about the people who are sort of in charge of this stuff, taking the money, the policymakers and the CEOs and the COOs and those people. I'm worried that those people will end up taking all the money and it won't trickle down to the nursing staff, even the CNAs. The CNAs really get dumped on. They just do. They're not. They don't. They definitely don't get paid what they're worth. That's a hard job, and no one really gives them the credit that they need for it. That is definitely not an easy job at all. And then they work as hard as they do, and then they get paid beans, $10, $12. I think it's actually up. I think it's up to about $15 an hour. Nationally, I think. When I was still a CNA, I remember we had one CNA who was making $15 an hour, and she had been doing it since she was in like high school or whatever. She was like 50, and she made $15 an hour. And then I got a job very soon thereafter as a LPN making $16.50 an hour. I was like, shoot, why didn't I just stick out being a CNA for longer? Of course, she'd been doing it for 20 some odd years, so it took her a long time before she got up there. But when I started as an LPN, I made $16.50 an hour. Well, that was base pay, but it ended up being closer to 20 once you factored in nights. I mean, not nights because I didn't work nights, but first shift diff. The floor I was on shift diff, and there was like a weekend shift diff. But I didn't work every weekend, but it still helped out my weekly pay or bi-weekly pay or whatever it was. I think I got paid every other week on that one. But it helped out that. But man, you work so hard as a CNA. It is not an easy job. And I wish that there was like on the board, like on a business board. I wish that there was like the CEO and then the CEO of nursing and then the CEO of CNAs. I guess that would sort of be like a union, so that they sort of work with each other. Not necessarily a union, but I don't know. I guess you would call it a board. Used to hang out with CNAs and do a lot. I never hung out with the CNAs. I was one for a while, but I never hung out with them. It was always a good time being a CNA. I remember they did Nurses Day. That's sometime in May. And they brought them out Chick-fil-A. And they didn't give none to the CNAs. They were like, oh yeah, y'all ain't nurses. We didn't get any of it. I was like, man, that's messed up. Why didn't we get a Chick-fil-A sandwich? Everybody else got one. That unit that I was on actually had more nurses than CNAs. Had 3 teams on that unit. Each team had 2 nurses and 1 CNA. So you'd have 3 CNAs a night. 6 patients per nurse, so 12 patients per CNA. Which really isn't that bad. That's actually a pretty good ratio for a lot of people. I don't know that I've ever worked anywhere else that had a 12 patient ratio for a CNA. Dietary and stay at the nurse station and the DON office. Just hang out, just stay there at the DON office. Hey, what's up, Don? You doing all right today? Doing your paperwork? That's awesome. I always, up until the job I have now, I would always avoid the management side of things because I didn't want to talk to them. I didn't want them to talk to me. I didn't want to talk to them. I wanted to avoid everyone like the plague. I did not want anyone to see me. I try to be invisible. Even when I was in dialysis, I tried to be invisible. But I don't try that no more. The DON, that's a job I would not want. Oh, I forgot. Today is the first day of September. Fall happens this month. My sister's birthday happens this month. I need to remember that. Write it down on the calendar. DNA was a mom to... Oh, was a mom to you. Okay. Party, party, party. All right there, Andrew WK. Party, party, party. That's how I got my kids to potty. Is I would sing the party, party, party song, except I would change it to potty, potty, potty. And the kids enjoyed it whenever I would sing that song. If you don't know the Andrew WK Party, Party, Party song, definitely Google it. Look it up. It's loud and aggressive. Be sure that you are somewhere that is not public, we'll say. Right before all of my nursing school tests, I would go to the library at the school and turn on Andrew WK. Like as loud as those little bitty speakers in the library would go, and blast Andrew WK. Party, party, party. And I would like fist bump and everything. Yeah, just trying to get my mind right. Trying to get my mind where I could think correctly, or forget about all the stress I had going on right before them nursing school tests. And them jokers weren't easy. Them jokers was hard. Do not miss those times. That was no fun. When we'd have those all day tests, like you'd do like your clinical test, and like you did your clinical in the morning and then you did the written in the evening. Anyways, we would do our, like your finals. You would do like your clinical finals in the morning. Ooh. Courtney is calling me, and I only have speakerphone. Hello. Hey, you're on the live stream.
Oh, hey everybody.
What's up?
Squish's teacher called me.
Okay.
She had accident in the bathroom again today.
Okay. Same as it was yesterday?
No.
Okay.
She got stuck in the stall.
Okay.
Taking forever, so she went in there to check on her. Talked her through on how to open the door.
Uh-huh.
Got her to open the door.
Uh-huh.
She couldn't, well, I'm guessing she couldn't get up on the toilet.
Uh-huh.
So she peed in the floor.
Okay.
Walked through it, had the toilet paper in her hand. She didn't feel comfortable wiping her.
Uh-huh.
So she didn't wipe her. She talked her through wiping herself.
Uh-huh.
And then she couldn't pull up her stuff because she had walked through it and it got all over her clothes.
Uh-huh.
So she changed her clothes, and then she was asking me, like, how, what they did last year and stuff. And I was like, well, because, EC teacher now was her kindergarten teacher then. I think she was a lot more hands-on and, helped a lot. Things like that.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking at her evaluation, they're going to say we have to send her to the life skills class.
It's sounding more and more like that.
Yeah. Because if she can't use the bathroom on her own, they're not going to let her stay there.
No, they're not.
Because she was like, well, I can't leave the kids because the bathroom's not in their class anymore.
Yeah,
they're
I know.
on the second, third grade hall, which is the higher up toilets.
Yeah.
She can't get up to those toilets. She was like, I just want to let you know so when she comes in with different clothes. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to let you know.
All right. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Hey, did you go to the newspaper then?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I love you.
Is there anything?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, love you.
Love you too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Oh, yay. Drama at school. What's up, Jenna? Our middle child, I know that we've talked about it before, is special needs. And it sounds like she is having issues at school. Today is Thursday, so that's the 4th day of school. We are really hoping that they keep her in the regular school. But it's sounding more and more like they're not going to, which is unfortunate. Courtney pushed really, really hard to keep her in school, to keep her in regular school. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Because, if it gets to the point to where our child is a hindrance to the rest of the class, they would tell us that she needs a higher level of care. Which is unfortunate, but liable to happen. Yeah, we really thought that she was going to get, sent out last year for kindergarten. But she snaked through, she made it through. But the problem now is her kindergarten teacher also was EC, which they pull them out of the regular class to sort of do that. And, so it's an issue. It's a mess, but, we'll see how it goes. I hope they keep her there too. I hope they give her a chance, and keep her there. But I'm sure that I will hear more about it as time goes on, which is, unfortunate. But at the same time, I sort of get it. You can't spend all of your time on one child. When you have 25 others in your class. I understand. It's just unfortunate. So we'll just see how it goes. Anyways, what was I talking about? I know I was talking about something right before she called, and I cannot remember what it was. The teacher shortage is real, and Courtney is actually trying to get on teaching. We have not yet heard back from the school as far as that goes. As far as the teaching goes, which I might go ahead and look up to see if the job is still posted. It hasn't been filled, so let's see if Courtney is still in the running. Of course, school started for us on Monday, so I did not expect them to make a decision immediate, but go up to the school. I would like to. Oh nope, all of the job is still available, so hopefully the job is still up there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Courtney is going to fill a position, I hope. The problem is we're not in a very big area. We're not in a very populated area. The person over that department would just simply be her teacher. There's not a big line of people to talk to. Which our county just doesn't really have that budget. Our county doesn't have the finances to do all that. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of people to talk to, which is sort of a bummer. So we'll see how it goes. I think we have a teacher evaluation in like 9 weeks, I think. So this is the end of the first week. Of course, I don't know when they actually have the evaluations. But we'll see how it goes. These baby girl people, man, they just stress me out. I don't know if y'all got baby girl people, but yeah, me too. I think if Courtney got it, she would help out our middle child. It would help with our middle child. What I'm trying to say. But I don't know. We shall see. We shall see how it goes. Whew. Just a bummer. But yeah, what else can you do? I does not know. In any case, I know I was talking about taking tests, but I forgot. Do I feel LTC is more skills or care plans, or should you focus on studying meds, trying to prepare before starting job at LTC? So, more skills or care plans? I feel that you should study on meds. Oh, without knowing which LTC you're going to. The amount of meds that you're going to have at the LTC is going to be baffling. You're going to have one patient on like 18 meds and the next patient's on like 22 meds, and not a single one of them are the same med. It's going to be a lot easier if you know the meds. Care plans, they sort of stay the same. I mean, they don't really change unless like a pressure sore shows up or something changes. I mean, they sort of just continue on. You probably won't change a bunch on them. The skills are hopefully going to be taught to you, the correct way to do them and the way that they do them at the facility, things like that. So, the studying the meds is definitely the hardest part. Because you gotta understand, like if you got somebody on digoxin, you gotta take a pulse before you give it. Certain meds are timed, and you can't give them very close to each other, and so you gotta understand those meds. Other meds, you gotta take vitals on them. Orthostatic pressures was where they're like laying, sitting, standing. You gotta take those pressures on some meds, and so you got to understand like which meds are for when, and then just remember that most of the time the med pass is probably not on time because there's just so many of them, and who can you be late on, who can you be early on, things like that. We at my nursing home I worked at had an hour before and an hour after. And so what I did was I sat down and I sort of made myself a list of all of my people who were like 7 a.m. on the dot all the way to 9 a.m. on the dot, who I could do before and after. And so who I could get done quicker. And so it helped a lot once I figured out my route, if you will, because not everybody was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I may be at room 1, and then I may be at room 5, and then 3, and then 2, and then 4, something like that. So you just got to figure that out. And that would be understanding the meds that you're given, I think would be your best bet. And, of course, if you get anybody on like a timed vancomycin or something, you got to understand that you got to give that, on time, which, happens. So I would say studying meds would be your best bet. And then time management would be just as equally as important. Time management is not easy. Oh, good times. Good times at the nursing home. Oh man, I remember my time at the nursing home, trying to get my experience built up. I will say they called it pill pushing when I was in school. They said don't go to be no pill pusher, whatever it is. I'll say you're a lot more than just a pill pusher when you're at the nursing home, when you're in long-term care. You do a lot more than just push pills. Like you work hard. There's a lot of things you still got to know, and in the long-term care. But studying the meds is definitely probably your best bet out of the three mentioned, and the time management would be just as equally as important. But did you actually get the job? Because you were interviewing for it, weren't you? So I hope you got it. I hope they pay you well too. I hope they pay you thousands of money. That would be nice. To get paid thousands of money a week. Good. Is it near the beach? That's what's up if it's near the beach. And Jenna, something that you may not have taken into consideration, or maybe you have, I don't know, because you are in Florida. Hurricane season is coming up. So be mindful of like your plans in case something pops off. Because a couple years ago, 2016-ish maybe, there was a nursing home in Florida that lost power for like a week. And I believe they were like right across the road from a hospital. But they lost power for like a week and like 40 people ended up dying. And those nurses are on the hook for that. So I know that, weather can definitely affect things down in Florida. So be mindful of your evacuation plans. Be mindful of all of those things and know them, just in case. Because that is something that can be very tragic very quickly. The people up north, they also have to sort of worry about that with the the snow and whatnot. Let me see if I can find it. Let me double check. There we go. But if I'm not mistaken, it was 2015. If I'm not mistaken, those nurses got into trouble. Four Florida nursing home staffers charged in 12 hurricane deaths. Go away, USA Today. Yeah, so, and the hurricane happened in 2015, and they apparently got charged in 2019. So yes, understand your policies when it comes to stuff like that. And yes, those nurses unfortunately did get into trouble. Apparently 4 of them did. Which is terrible. But it happens. They died of heat exposure. The patients did. And I know just right down the road here, we had a big snowstorm back in January, and 3 staff members showed up. 3, and one of them was a nurse, and I believe the other 2 were CNAs. And they, the patients themselves were calling the police, and the police and the EMS and people like that were doing the med pass. And I forget how many of them died, like 3 or 4 of them died because of that. And it was a big snowstorm. So, understand your company's policies when it comes to stuff like that, which, is something you don't think of, something you didn't think you would have to learn while you're in nursing school. But yes, emergency weather, you still got to understand what happens in those situations. Let me see if it says if these nurses got any time. The facility administrator got 12 counts of aggravated manslaughter. 2 nurses were charged with 6 and 2 counts of aggravated manslaughter. And it said 4, but that's only 3 names. But yeah, people were charged in that, and that's a very unfortunate event. Very unfortunate that happened. Yeah, be sure you cover yourself. It's sunny outside and lightning across the field. Texas weather. Of course, in Texas, you can see for miles upon miles. I can't really see very far at my house. We got hills and trees in the way. So, good old Texas weather. Texas, yeah, you got to deal with tornadoes out there too. So, you'd have you have weather implementations. Shoot, we just did a fire drill at work the other day. When I was working at the hospital, yeah, trees and shade. When I was working at the hospital, 2012ish, we had an active shooter in the hospital. Let me see if I can pull that up. And we hadn't, I had never done any sort of training on an active shooter in the hospital. And it just happened at the hospital I worked at. And, we didn't know what to do. Thankfully, it was over with pretty quickly. So it didn't make it far. 2013, yeah. The individual showed up looking for someone. This was it. Oh, get away from there. This was it. But the individual, showed up looking for someone and found them and then shot them and then themselves. So we didn't have to, thankfully we didn't have to deal with it, an active shooter, but still it was there. And, they called the code gray or whatever. We had never done a drill. So it was like, code gray, oh, oh, snap. What do I do now? So drills and things, should be taken seriously because you never know when it'll happen, which is unfortunate. Don't take shortcuts. That is very true. Do not take shortcuts. And understand what you're hearing. Yes, especially in those assessments that Jim has just brought up. But yeah, definitely get those. There's really no way to tell you how to do assessments quicker. Just be sure you do everything first. Run through your mind that I do every single thing head to toe. One that I always forgot, and it could be because I don't like eyes, is the eye assessment. Ugh, I hated doing that one. The most difficult part is understanding what's going on, when to intervene. when you get 20 labs that aren't all critical. Yes, my favorite tool, still to this day, my very favorite tool, and my go-to, even in the head-to-toe assessment, before I do anything, I get a pulse ox. That little pulse ox, I give you two numbers, two very important numbers. Those numbers that you get on that pulse ox, go ahead and determine where am I going with the rest of this. That pulse ox is my favorite. I like to do the pulse ox and I like to do the blood pressure, off the bat. Probably not the correct order, but those two things, like I would rather know that you have a pulse ox of 82 before I get all the way down to your lung sounds, and then I realize, oh, you've got a pulse ox of 82. Like, I'd rather know that first. And so I like to do that one first. That, it tells me your pulse, your oxygen. Let's go ahead and figure out what that is. Could be high, could be low. Either case, I may be leaving you calling the doctor. Who knows? And then the labs, I have the hardest time. I still carry around my Davis Drug Guide. It's not Davis Drug Guide, it's Davis Lab Value. Whatever it is, I still carry it around from time to time. So, 20 labs. The one lab that I remember that's always the most important is potassium. I was like, oh, potassium's off. Let's go ahead and call about this. That one's always like an immediate call for me. Excuse me. And yes, Jenna, you're going to be a good nurse. You're going to be just fine. What's up, Carlos? Failed the ATI 2 days before graduation. Oh, that is terrible. Failed 2 days before graduation. That is horrible. I hate that, Carlos. And Jenna, to answer your question, do I call before passing out the rest of my meds? It depends on where I'm at. And it depends on what has happened. Like if part of my let's go back to DIG, because you don't give DIG. I can't remember. I haven't given DIG in a while, but I think it's like if the pulse is like under 70 or 72, something like that, you don't give DIG. If you like if I'm doing a quick assessment to give a medication, yes, I call immediately. If I'm doing my med pass and I've got to also do blood sugar checks and a patient's got blood sugar of 400, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call before I do anything else. And some of that's going to come with experience. Hopefully you have a good charge nurse or a good preceptor to show you sort of, hey, look out for this, look out for that. Call immediately for this. I remember one time I got a blood pressure of like 180/90. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's sort of high. Let me finish everything else I'm doing. And so I finished everything else I was doing and then notified someone about the blood pressure of 180/90 and got chewed out for it. And I was like, oh, okay, so clearly, even though this patient is alert-oriented, doesn't have a headache, no other signs and symptoms of hypertension, I should have called immediately. And so, that one was no fun. But hopefully you'll figure that out fairly quickly. What's the standard protocol? Give 2 catapress. 2 catapress and then go on. Something like that. And yes, Carlos, do not give up. That sucks though. I hate that you failed 2 days, man. I'd like to see him give that to you a little bit sooner. Are you to the point to where you have to wait an entire year to you have to wait an entire year before you can take that trimester again, or can you like immediately go back into it? That would be awesome if you could immediately go back into your schooling, and just sort of pick up where you left off rather than having to wait an entire year. That would be no fun. Yeah, high blood pressure is the silent killer, what they call it. The silent killer. Oh, I failed by 5 questions. Ugh. That's no fun. But yes, thankfully you do get to take it next week. Unfortunately, you're going to be, that much further behind, but still you don't have to wait the whole year, so that's good. And then you could definitely study a lot, and hopefully you'll know what you missed from last time and be able to, pick up on it and not have to worry about it. Sorry, Courtney texted me. So, Jenna, will you be working first shift, second shift, third shift? I'm loving this chair at this moment in time. I hope I'm not making anybody seasick. When I started as a nurse, was it 11P to 7A? Nice. Stay warm. Stay warm. Great learning shift, though, because you'll actually have the time to sort of talk to people and sort of learn. Do I feel like I started as a nurse? It was trial and error. I will say, when I started as a nurse, I thought I knew a lot more than I actually did know. I thought that school had prepared me phenomenally well for everything I was about to see in any case. I was going to see every single thing I'd ever thought I'd see in nursing school. And it was trial by fire, sink or swim, learn or drown, I guess. I'm sure there were errors, but I didn't want to make errors. The biggest error that I made, I remember my charge nurse chewing me out one time. I had a patient that had actually just had like a massive stroke, and they were on like 50 milligrams of metoprolol. And the policy at the facility that I was at, we were still on paper, was if you didn't have a med, you circled it. So you just circled it. And there were plenty of meds, and I had seen other people do this. They went by and they circled it. And this one patient, like I said, had a 50 milligrams of metoprolol. BID or TID, I can't remember. And for whatever reason, pharmacy didn't send us enough metoprolol. We ran out of metoprolol. So that morning shift, I just went by and I circled it. I initialed it, there it is. I see, where I missed it, and continued on. And my charge nurse saw this. And she was like, no, sir. She was like, you need to get on the phone with pharmacy right this moment and get this med to this individual immediately. Again, this goes back to, knowing your meds. She was like, this patient just had a massive stroke. You're giving them 50 milligrams of metoprolol. You better not skip this. You better not acknowledge that we don't have it and not get this med. And so I didn't really do anything wrong, because I followed our policy and I circled the med so that pharmacy would see that it's not there, not being filled. But because we're on paper, they're not going to see it till the end of the month or whatever. And my charge nurse chewed me out and said, no, you're getting this med. You're going to have to find this med, obtain this med some way. Other things I could circle, but that one I couldn't circle. And so working night shift, you're going to be able to learn those things. You're going to be able to learn, hey, if you ever see this milligram of this medication, do not give it. Be sure you give it. Things like that. And you always want to give meds. You don't ever want to skip them. But, sometimes you have to. Vitals aren't good enough for it, or something else is going on. Have to call the doctor or whatever. Provider. And then, good times like that. Excuse me. But stay warm. I imagine even then in Florida it gets cold at 2 a.m. I would always bring my hoodies when I work night shift. I would try to eat as much calories as I could eat, because I felt like that kept me awake. Yeah. People don't understand, man. You get cold. It could be 80 degrees. You get cold working nights. You're freezing. You're like, oh. And it's just all of a sudden it just hits you. You're like, boom. Oh, I'm cold. I got to bundle up. It's no fun. Eat dark chocolate. Does that help, eating dark chocolate? Or is that for the caffeine content? I never drank coffee until I started working nights. Never did. Never drank coffee. Then I started drinking coffee, and then started drinking them 5-hour energies. Started wearing them out. And I'll tell you right now, 2 5-hour energies back to back does not equal 10 hours of energy. It just equals a harder crash after 5 hours. Ugh. I don't think I could ever drink another one of those again. Those little bitty, they weren't very big. Those little bitty bottles, some 5-hour energy on them. Oof. They had 900 million% of your daily vitamin C or something like that. Vitamin B was 90,000%. It was no fun. But I would drink a bunch of coffee and drink a couple of them 5-hour energies, and I'd be set for almost a whole day. Mind you of Starbucks. Good old Starbucks. I've always said the hospitals have the best coffee because they got to keep the nurses up. There's always a pot on at the hospital. Always a pot of coffee on. Good times are had. Excuse me. Trying not to yawn my way through this, but I love the smell of coffee. I love the taste of coffee. My girls like it too. All 3 of them. They like coffee. Which is awesome, I think, but I don't know about how their mama feels about it, but I know their mama, Courtney, does not like the smell of coffee. She hates it when I make it because she said it makes a house stink. But it is what it is. Excuse me. Ugh, gracious. Jenna, get ready to, you're going to be told that you're not going to be doing things, and then you're definitely going to be doing them. Like, oh yeah, we're going to wait till you're ready to be doing charge nurse. And you're like, oh, I'm charge nurse today. They ain't going to give you no warning. You're just going to be charge nurse one day. That's how they roll. There we go. Did I work night shift for the LTC? When I worked night shift, I was actually at the hospital. Do I get donuts? No, I just come straight home. I don't get anything to eat. So I worked night shift for the hospital. I never worked night shift for the long-term care. What do you commonly do? You do the same thing, but your med pass is much slower. Not slower, just it's not the same med pass because your midnight med pass is not the same as your 7 a.m. med pass. It's just not, that coming on nurse. Excuse me, tired day. That coming on nurse from 7A to 11P. I'm sorry, 7A to 3P, I guess is what it would be. They're gonna have a hard med pass. I mean, the night shift med pass isn't easy, but it's not the same. It's just different. What we commonly do, a lot of it is going to be running calls. People have bad dreams. People need drinks. People need bed night snacks. People need bed night medications. Things like that. It's just different. It's just different. But you'll see. No, I never got donuts. Never went out to eat after work. I just want to come home. spent all morning going over meds. Your head hurts. You just want to be prepared. You'll be prepared. It'll be fine. It's not too bad. My eyes are getting heavy. They sure are. And then the worst part is when the girls get here, that's when the day starts. They're going to show up and it's going to be like, oh, well, now I got to start, working. I have to start doing stuff. Spent the morning going over meds. You probably know a lot of the meds that you're going to see. I would just, when you go for your preceptorship or whatever it is, your trainings, ask the charge nurse, like, what do I need to understand? What meds do I need to know? And then hopefully they're not like myself and they would say, all you need to know everything. Hopefully they are, intelligent people and they would give you a better idea of what you need. I hope, at least. But yeah, you got this, Jenna. You'll see. It won't be too bad. Ooh. There they come again. More hick-em-ups. Ooh. Woo. Big yawns. Big yawns coming out of me today. Turn on some jazz. Some coffee house music and relax. That would be what's up. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have the ability to do a whole lot of that. But yeah, you just gotta try to stay awake. Keep them old eyeballs open. There we go. Blank out a little. Well, that's no good. I did not realize that I had blanked out a little. The Matrix got me. Doing my they're shooting at me thing. I had a name. I don't remember the name of it. don't like the blinking out. That's not something I like to do. How did I learn to document signs and symptoms and intervene accurately? How do I document? I don't know. I mean, the signs and symptoms are, you already know what they are. So as far as documentation goes, adventitious breath sounds heard, blood pressure in the toilet, 30/20, whatever it is, and you document whatever the finding is. And then how to intervene accurately. So one thing that I was always taught when I was younger in nursing is you can always send back people. You can't always get people in. So if it's something that I needed to intervene on as far as get people to me, I could go ahead and call it early and then send people home and say, thank you for coming. I'm sorry I don't need you. I don't really know. I guess experience is really the best bet on that. I don't know. And yeah, it just comes with practice. What's the craziest thing that happened while working? Like, to me specifically, one time I had a patient that was on telemetry. I had the leads on their chest and the box connected to them, and they had locked themselves into a room in an abandoned part of the facility. It was abandoned. It's probably not anymore because of COVID. But that part of the facility was abandoned. There was no door, no bed, nothing in this room. It was just a blank room. They had locked themselves in there and grabbed that telemetry, and they were like, I'm going to throw this at you, and threw it at me, and the leads didn't let it go very far. It came back and hit them. Police showed up and took them away, and brought them right back to the unit where I was at. And so that was probably the craziest thing that had happened to me. That same patient punched me. Wasn't too bad, but I got hit. So that's about it. That's about the craziest one that's ever happened to me specifically. I've known nurses on psych units that have had like legit psych units that have had really bad nights before. Oh, another patient wasn't mean actually. The patient was just sundowning like crazy, and just confused, didn't know where they were, and that was it. But in any case, my girls are going to be dismissed from school in 4 minutes. So I am going to go ahead and head off of here. Thank you guys so much. No one signs up to be abused at work. But thank you guys so much. I'm glad that this very first Thursday live stream went as good as it did. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for joining. Hopefully we will do this again next week, next Thursday. Same bat time, same bat channel. 1 p.m. Eastern time. I will see y'all then. Thank you so much, and I hope everyone has a lovely week, lovely weekend, and I'll see y'all again on Thursday. Thank you much.